Okay, and hello, and welcome to my nutrition and digestion assignment. Well, firstly, we'll start off with the nutrients. There are 7 types of nutrients: carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and water. And as you can see, there are examples up on the board. So, carbohydrates. Carbohydrates will make 50% of the person's diet, 50 to 60% around there, and their main function is to provide the body with energy. Examples of carbohydrates include bread, pasta, wheat, and different types of rice. There are many types of carbohydrates. Monosaccharides, disaccharides are one type, and then polysaccharides are their own type on their own. So things like glycogen and like cellulose and stuff like that will be polysaccharides, and monosaccharides are like glucose, fructose, and like disaccharides will be maltose and sucrose. 1 gram of carbohydrates is equal to 4 calories. So every time you have a gram of carbohydrates, you will take on 4 calories that you would either have to burn off or will be stored. Proteins. 15% of the person's diet will be protein, and then protein's main function is to build and repair lost muscle. So if you go for a massive gym session and you do a massive bicep and tricep workout, you then need to intake protein to build and repair the muscle bigger and stronger than it was. However, protein can also be used to produce energy, but is only used in very, very extreme circumstances. There is only one type of protein, but examples of this include nuts, meats, avocado, cheese, different types of milk, and then 1 gram, much like carbohydrates, 1 gram of protein will be equal to 4 calories. Now, fats. 35% of a person's diet will be made up of fats, and fats have many, many, many different functions. Firstly, storage. Secondly, it is something to help build and make cells. Thirdly, there's temperature. So if your body gets freezing cold, your fat will act as sort of like a warm coat kind of thing, and it will help to raise your temperature. There's protection for vital organs, so for your heart, your lungs, your liver, your kidneys, and things like that. And it provides flavour. So without fats, most of our food would be flavourless and bland. So we need fats to taste. And then it helps make fatty acids, which are important in different processes in the body. It also helps build and repair some cells in the body. And it is also like protein, but protein is more extreme example than fats. Fats will be used before protein are used. So it will be used to create energy. Now there are 2 types of fats. There's saturated and monounsaturated, saturated fats, and then monounsaturated and polyunsaturated, which come under the brand of unsaturated fats. So monounsaturated and polyunsaturated are given the brand of good fats because they do significantly less damage if you take a lot of them in than saturated fats. So saturated fats include like deep fried food, chips, donuts, like butter, like cakes and stuff like that as well. So they will be the harmful ones. And monounsaturated and polyunsaturated include like coconut milk and like vegetable oil, like red meats, fish, some different types of like dairy products as well. And then 1 gram of fat will contain 9 calories. So as you can see, significantly more than protein and carbohydrates. Now we move on to vitamins. Vitamins come in two different types. You have water soluble and you have fat soluble. Water soluble dissolve in water, fat soluble dissolve in fat. Now the two types of water soluble vitamins are vitamin B and vitamin C. And all of the rest of the vitamins go under fat soluble. We'll start off with vitamin A. Vitamin A helps out your eyesight, and it helps give your skin like its sheen kind of thing. So your skin is like healthy, and it is found in dark green vegetables, and we only need zero point 0.7 milligrams of it in our diet. Now, function B will help provide energy for our body, and this is found in vegetables and meats, and we only need 40 milligrams of it. Now, vitamin C will help you defend from viruses and infections and stuff, and that's contained in fruits. Vitamin D. Now, vitamin D, you get enough from the sunlight. However, it is also found in egg yolks. And this will help increase calcium absorption, and then that will help with movement because your bones are stronger, thus mean you can get more leverage and stuff. And vitamin E will help with cells, and this is found in nuts, and we only need 4 milligrams of it. And then vitamin K will help with your blood, and that's found in cabbage and milk. And we only need 0.001 milligrams per kilogram of our body weight. So say we take an 80 kilogram person, we only need 0.08 milligrams of vitamin K for that person. Moving on to minerals. Minerals are split up into two as well. You got macro minerals, and then you got trace minerals or trace elements. And there are 3 minerals that are in trace and 3 minerals that are in macro, as you can see on the table. And we'll start off with zinc. Zinc, we only need 12 to 20 milligrams of it, and this will help with the removal of carbon dioxide from your system, so in gaseous exchange. And that's found in different types of cheeses. And calcium, we only need 1,200 milligrams of it. This is an example of a macronutrient, and this will help with your movement because it will help with your like joints and stuff. So that will allow you to get more power behind your movement. This is also found in milk. Potassium. Potassium is found in bananas, and we only need 1 gram of it in our diet, and this will help with the neurons and stuff in our body. Sodium. Sodium is found in table salt. Now, if you break down table salt, it's sodium chloride. So the main part of it's sodium. And this will help with our water balancing in our body. And we need 5 to 10 grams of it. Magnesium. This will help with our reproductive systems. And it is found commonly in peanuts. And we need 5 milligrams of it. Iron. Iron will help with your cells, and is found commonly in eggs. Fiber. Now there's 2 different types of fiber, and we need 18 grams per day of a good mix of both fibers. Now soluble fibers are fibers that can dissolve. Insoluble fibers are fibers that can't dissolve. Soluble fibers include fruits, pulses, barley, nuts, seeds, and many vegetables. And these will help with the balancing of your blood sugars, so your blood glucose level, and it will also help with your cholesterol. And then insoluble fiber, which is found in whole grain products, vegetables, and wheat bran, will prevent bowel disorders, so it will help with your excretion of feces. Now, water. Water is a very important part of your diet. You need 6 to 8 cups of it a day, and it is important because it transports all of the nutrients that I've just mentioned around the body. It also helps with your temperature control, so it helps you maintain your core temperature, and it helps through the digestive system. Otherwise, your food would get blocked up and your body wouldn't be able to process it, so you would then suffer severe consequences. Now, there are 3 different ways of obtaining water. We get 1,200 milliliter through fluids. We get 1,200 milliliter through foods, and we should get 350 milliliters from our metabolism through like the breakdown of foods and stuff. Now, digestion. There are 2 main types of digestion. First one being chemical, second one being mechanical. So chemical is using like enzymes and acids. Mechanical would be just using brute force, so like biting down. So our buccal cavity and our esophagus. Our buccal cavity is where digestion starts. Our buccal cavity is another word for our mouth. And in the buccal cavity, teeth and jaws grind food and mix it with saliva. This saliva contains an enzyme known as amylase. This starts to break down the food, and the saliva will form a big like ball of food known as a bolus. And then the esophagus will use a process known as peristalsis to push down the bolus to the muscle, and this is done through contracting and relaxing of muscles. Now, our stomach is basically a massive mixing bowl, and in this it is mixed with enzymes and hydrochloric acid, which break down the food and kill like any bacteria still left on the food. And then this food will be churned into a liquid called chyme, which will be very important throughout our digestive journey, so to speak. Small intestine and the duodenum. The chyme passes from the stomach to the small intestine via the duodenum, and then in the small intestine there are little cells known as villi, and these are like little pieces of carpet. If you ever rub your foot along a carpet, there's like little pieces of fibre that will stick out. This is basically what a villi is, and a villi is like 1 cell thick, so it can pass through nutrients easily. And in this small intestine, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, sugars will be absorbed through the villi and into the intestinal wall. Pancreas, liver, and gallbladder. The pancreas will mix the chyme with the pancreatic juice. It will do this by putting the pancreatic fluid in the small intestine. However, this pancreatic juice is made through a mix of bile and other enzymes, which is found in the liver. So the pancreatic juice is made in the liver and transported to the pancreas, where the pancreas like mixes it and then moves it on into the small intestine. And then sometimes we have a over excess of bile or have too much concentrated bile where our body can't use it, and that will be then stored in the gallbladder. Our large intestine, our rectum, and our anus. When the chyme reaches the large intestine, it's normally in a fluid and an indigestible state, and no enzymes are produced by this large intestine, so the fluid will be sort of like sorted out, and then it will eventually end up becoming our wee, so to speak. And then the indigestible matter is passed through the rectum and leaves the body through the anus, also known as feces. Now, there are 3 roles of the digestive system: digestion, absorption, and excretion. And digestion is the breaking down of the food and the removal of it into chyme and stuff like that. The absorption is the absorption of minerals to be used in other places in the body, and the excretion is the where the food leaves the body.